Pseek, A, a constructed language by me, Orange191. Basic information. Pseek is a language that is simultaneously an alphabet, a syllabary, a logography, an abjad, and an abugida all at the same time. But you may be asking, Agma Schwa, how could a language be both an abjad and an abugida if an abjad relies on the absence of written vowels, while an abugida relies on the presence of vowels? We'll get there. Don't worry. Introduction and Phonology. Pseek, B'ga, A, means exchange of ideas in the language. 3 of the 4 symbols used are also letters, specifically the letters P, B, and T. Why is there a giant circle the size of an entire symbol? We'll get there. Introduction and Phonology, Part 2. The pulmonic consonants are M, N, P, B, S, J, K, and the non-pulmonic consonants are and. 2 other rare non-pulmonic consonants exist, the clap and the knee slap, but these are seen as archaic and are largely excluded from modern dialects. The vowels are as shown above. 2 other vowels exist which may or may not be part of the IPA, those being the screech and the gravelly U. The Phonotactics. Phonotactics in Pseek are as follows. Words in this language are C, C, V, V, C, all in parentheses. Yes, this means that some words are entirely silent. Many academics have argued that the language can only be truly understood even by native speakers in its written form, as these silent words can result in entire sentences losing an important aspect of their meaning. There are no major rules preventing specific consonants from residing in the same syllable, except for the prevention of a j followed by a s, or a dental click followed by an alveolar click. Glottal stops only occur when a vowel is followed by another vowel in the same vowel set. We'll get to that later. Example, a becomes a. Word order is free, but OSV can be used for added clarity. Orthography. Characters are drawn with spaces in between them, and sentences are separated by a vertical line. Grammar. There are 8 different grammar particles that we have here. There are basically 8 different symbols or letters. We have the present tense, which is usually pronounced pe. The past tense, baip. Future tense, plab. Plural. Habitual for verbs, main. Unknown tense, which is always pronounced pnan. Noun to verb, which is pronounced be'eb. And aspire to for verbs, which is pronounced ok. Vowel system. Now this is an interesting part of the language. Vowel sets are groups of 3 vowels that most characters use one of. When a character's information is shown, the upper left-hand corner contains the pronunciation of the character written in the orthography, but usually with a plus sign thrown in after a vowel. This plus sign shows where the system vowel is located in the word. A system vowel can be any of the 3 within the specified set, depending on whether the character is connected to any other character to form a more complex idea. Standalone characters representing simple ideas always use their default vowel as the system vowel, which is shown in the lower left corner. In contrast, connected characters use any of the 3 vowels within the set, but the specific vowels used here depend on exactly what characters are connected in the first place. Every practical and frequent combination of characters has known vowels used for its pronunciation, but these combinations, numbering in the tens of thousands, are too numerous to be featured here. However, any combination of characters which is less practical or common still uses the default vowel. Finally, a glottal stop occurs when the regular first vowel of a word is in the same set as the system vowel after it. The stop appears in between the 2 vowels and is not normally written or directly shown. And here we have an example of how the vowel system works. There are 2 separate characters on the left, which turn into 2 merged characters on the right. taking the words important and rule and combining them together to create the word law. Here we have more information on character details. The upper left corner of a character detail sheet is the pronunciation. The upper right corner is the letter, which can be used for an alternate alphabetic writing system. The lower left corner is the default vowel for the vowel system. Finally, with all of the important stuff done, we can get the sample text out of the way. Na'ak, babe, jmod, make, baus, jmod, babe, pnyop, jai, spoosh, sus, psa'an, jmod, babe, sna, saik, pimon, babe, sage, na, a, piob, m, babe, na, Jaij, sim, ba, a, yib, kniop, jais, bush, babe moon, ka, je, kniop, jai, spunkish, sus, na, claim, bnem, ba, a. Early history of Psa'ek. In an unknown region of the world spanning from modern-day Iran to the western edge of modern-day China, the earliest known versions of Psa'ek were spoken, and written using a now extinct species of square-shaped reeds. From the year 500 BCE to the year 400 AD, the language developed to include more complex grammar and more complex symbols made from a higher number of squares. By the year 500 AD, the language had split into a common and formal variant, differing little in vocabulary but greatly in writing style. The common form was written using normal brushes, but the formal variant was still written using the square-shaped reeds, which were sometimes adapted into square-shaped brushes. For the next 1,500 years, the formal variant used more and more squares to write each character, until they began to resemble modern-day pixel illustrations before the invention of the digital computer. In the year 1920, a small group of Psa'ek speakers immigrated to the US, where their language was entirely undocumented. These speakers knew both the common and formal forms of the language, which would be important soon. When the computer program MS Paint was created and expanded upon, the grandchildren of these Psa'ek speakers realized that the program was ideal for writing the formal form of the language, and so they employed the program to preserve their language and write it for future generations. This is why all of the illustrations of the language so far have been in MS Paint instead of a more robust program. Most speakers have sadly abandoned writing the language on paper, due to the extinction of the traditional square-shaped reeds and the convenience of modern software. And here is a very small part of the vocabulary. I did not have enough time or patience to make every single one of the 12,000 plus words that are in the language, but here's a small number of them. Alternative writing system, alphabet. In addition to the standard method of writing or speaking Psa'ek, there are two other methods which can be employed. The alphabet system is used as a code for writing the language in a way that novice speakers may not understand, and the syllabary is used for loanwords, some names, and to write messages that resemble sentences in other languages. The alphabet system places symbols after each other to represent the phonemes of words, rather than one symbol being equal to one word or character. As seen previously, each character has its own alphabetical value, corresponding it to a single sound. For example, to write the word na'ok, important, one would use 5 characters for the letters m, n, a, and k instead of the one character. This can be much more time-consuming, so it is most commonly used as a handy trick to encode short phrases. Some clever people even encode alphabetic phrases into grammatical sentences. Alternative writing system, syllabary. The syllabary can be used for a variety of functions, ranging from important to interesting. By selecting symbols with specific pronunciations, one can form most combinations of the language's phonemes. For example, the name Agma Schwa in syllabary writing would use character spelling Agma Schwa. These characters mean grass, sunlight, icicle, by the way. Interestingly, the alphabet writing and the syllabary writing can even be combined to allow for any combination of the language's phonemes. And thank you very much for watching. I did not actually put that much effort into this language, but hopefully it made someone laugh, so goodbye.